Glasses get in the way when you're trying to do anything strenuous. They start to fall off of your face when you sweat, and when you try to play sports, they manage to feel like they're 20 times bigger. Contacts, on the other hand, are much more convenient, but they still irritate your eyes when they get dry, and when you accidentally rub one out of your eye when you're going 80 miles per hour down the highway will probably be the scariest thing to experience. I started wearing glasses when I was 8 years old. That was about 16 years ago. My family made just enough money for us to get by, but in terms of glasses, I had to pick from the free ones that were insurance covered. I hated glasses from the first day. They were always an inconvenience to me, and when I turned 14, I started working part-time in Chick-fil-A. I saved the money I made from the first 2 months and purchased my first 6-month supply of contacts. Physically, I looked a lot better, but having a dried piece of rubber on my eyes at the end of the day started to take a toll on me. For the next 8 years, I kept bouncing between using glasses to using contacts, but they both had their downsides. That is why I got a Lasik eye surgery 2 weeks ago. In Korea, Lasik eye surgery is a margin of the price you pay in America, and since I'm here for the next 3 years teaching English, I decided to try and find the most affordable and positively reviewed surgeon. Dr. Young-Suk Lee was the third result to pop up on Google. The link took me to his Facebook business page. The profile picture revealed a confident-looking Korean male. He looked to be in his late 40s to early 50s, and in each hand, he was holding a broken pair of glasses. The latest status is what drew my complete interest. Anniversary special, foreigners welcome. Lasik eye surgery for 450,000 won, about $410 US. Sale ends August 9th, 2017. I only had 2 days to make the decision, but I only needed a couple of seconds. I grabbed my phone and called the number listed on his page. There was an opening the next day at 2 p.m, and I gladly confirmed the appointment. During the entire procedure, I was a mixture between anxious and scared. The eye drops he gave me numbed my eye, and his steady hands opened my eyes wider, and his face came uncomfortably close to mine as he stared into my eyes for a couple of seconds. I zoned out and started to think about how much this surgery would change my life. A cold sensation surrounded my left eye, and I realized he put an instrument to hold my eye open. Next was an odd sensation. It felt like a pressure was building up in my eye. When I flinched, the doctor said, "It's okay, it's just suction. Flap need open so laser can fix." When a bright light hit my eye, he quietly said, "Look at the light." He did the exact same thing to my next eye. A couple of days after the surgery, I felt completely comfortable for the first time in 16 years. The entire workday flew by, and I didn't have anything in or on my eyes bugging me. The only thing I had to remember was to use my eye drops every 2 to 4 hours. 2 days ago is when I started to notice a faint light surrounding people. I was on the bus to work when I saw the person next to me had a soft blue light. I looked around the bus and saw that some had the same color light, while others had different colors. Some lights were brighter, while other lights were barely there. The only person that didn't have a light was me. I used the eye drops and softly rubbed my eyes. When I looked up, the lights were still there. The rest of the workday, I looked at every single one of my students. Mostly they had yellow lights, a couple had green, and one had a black blur that surrounded his body. The black blur belonged to a kid by the name of Jin-Sol Kim. He was a 12-year-old kid and probably one of my favorite students. The lights didn't make any sense to me. I tried to think of what it could be, but it honestly just felt like I was going crazy. I tried to sleep at 11, but thoughts kept racing through my head. Around 3 in the morning, my exhausted mind finally gave up and I managed to sleep. Yesterday morning, I woke up to a text from the principal of the school I taught at. Jin-Sol Kim passed away today. He was hit by a car while walking to his bus stop. Please keep this in mind while you teach today and try to avoid talking about this to the other students. My phone dropped out of my hand and I sat on my bed in shock. Jin-Sol was always a good kid, and from what I remember, he was always careful. He never did anything dangerously, and I knew he was smart enough to look at the street before crossing. Each class was quieter that day. The students knew something was wrong, and a couple of them even asked what happened to Jin-Sol. I couldn't answer any of them. I just shook my head and continued with the class. I got off of work around 3 and caught a cab to Dr. Yun-Suk Lee's office. The office was empty when I walked in. The doctor and the receptionist were talking behind the front desk. The doctor looked up when I walked in with a smile. He motioned me over to them. The receptionist mumbled something to the doctor and went to the restroom. "Hey, Dr. Lee, I've been seeing lights around people, and I was wondering if this was normal." He waved his hand and confidently said, "Yes, normal. It will go away. You need to use drops. 1 more month, okay?" I tried telling him more about the lights, but he just kept waving off whatever I said and told me it would be better in a month. I wanted to keep asking him more questions, but he didn't seem interested, and the dark blur around him started to get darker and darker. When I walked out of the door, I turned around and looked at the pitch black blur that now surrounded his body. I took the day off of work today. I couldn't sleep for a single second last night. Around 8 in the morning, I went back to Dr. Lee's office, but the door was locked. The receptionist was standing outside of the building smoking a cigarette when I walked back out. He had tears in his eyes as he managed to sputter out, "Dr. Lee died. He had high blood pressure, too much stress, too much work." I'm back at my house, and I tried to figure it out. The closest thing to an explanation I have is, darker the shade, closer to death. Duller the light, life has less meaning. The reason why I am writing to you is that I noticed something while watching the news. There is a strange virus that was found in the eggs. The reporter interviewed a couple of people that claimed to feel extremely sick. I believe them. They all had lights, but bits of their light was tainted with black spots. When the reporter finished, I noticed that her blue light had spots of black blur on it. The next story was about the recent boost in airline ticket sales. They showed groups of people walking through security. Almost all of them had spots of black blur on them. So be careful, everyone. Stick to people you know, just for now, until whatever this virus is goes away. Oh, by the way, I have a light now. It's a green light. My light is dull, but it's about time I work on getting my light brighter.